Hey, it's Katrina Sawa here with jumpstartyourbiznow.com, jumpstartpublishing.net, and I want to talk to you today about follow-up marketing. Follow-up marketing is logical that you would follow up with people that you meet in person or virtually these days, right? But I see so many people still not doing their follow-up at all. Some are doing a little bit, and some are doing nothing. I can't even imagine. I mean, everything I do, almost everything happens in the follow-up these days, because people are so busy when you meet them. If they don't take advantage of something that you have to offer immediately when you meet them, and they're like, "Oh, you're the thing I was looking for," right? Then you have to follow up. And you have to follow up probably a lot more than you feel comfortable doing, or more often than you feel comfortable doing. I know, sorry to tell you that, but it's because most people are too busy. They're too overwhelmed. That doesn't mean they don't want to talk to you usually. It means they just haven't had time to pay attention to the things you're already sending or whatever you're doing in the follow-up if you're doing some. And most people that I run across, when I finally do get a hold of them or when they finally do reply to an email, they say, thank you for continuing to follow up, or I love your follow up. I want to talk to you. Honestly, and the people that get annoyed, they can go away. It's okay. The people that get annoyed can go away. It's all right. It just means they can't handle anything else right now, which is probably not I'm sure it's not your fault by following up with them. It's their own issues, right? So people have their own issues and their own things going on. Shoot, like a few months ago, right? Even in January, I was just so overwhelmed. I couldn't do anything. I was deleting everything because I couldn't handle one extra thing with Jason's surgery and my surgery and all the things going on. So I get it. And that's why people have to continue following up because you never know what cycle someone's in their personal lives. So here's a few follow-up tips for you. I've been doing follow-up since I had jobs. Like when I was in my jobs, I was in sales and marketing, and I would follow up consistently because that is how I got business. Most people would not buy the first time I knocked on their business or knocked on their door. I had to continually go back and build that relationship, let them know I'm here, let them know I have a good option or a varying option to whatever it is, the service or product that I was offering. So there's four things that I usually recommend in your follow-up, four different ways to follow up. Some people only do one of these, some people do none. Like I said, you might do a couple of these, but do you do them to the extreme that needs to be done? Probably not. Why? Because you're uncomfortable. If you're uncomfortable sending a weekly email or three or four emails or doing three or four different voicemails to somebody, then that's your issue. And you want to stop it. You want to stop having that issue because if someone's not interested and they're tired of you following up, they will tell you, right? And if like, there's two different types of people you're going to be following up with. The people that actually sign up for your stuff, meaning they've gone to your website, and that's more of like a automation follow-up that you have to set up. I'm talking about people that you actually meet. So you meet someone on a Zoom call, right? You put a link in the chat and they go to the page on the website and they sign up for something. That's on them. They've signed up for it. They should expect follow-up marketing, and you can follow up beyond what is automated in your system, by the way. They might message you and said, "Oh, I would love to talk to you about that, whatever it is you just said," right? And so then you have the opening to go and follow up with them. You meet in person, you exchange business cards. Now, that doesn't mean they want to get on your email list just because they gave you their business card. Don't just add them. You can ask, I call it the verbal opt-in. You could ask them when they give you their card. Here's a card. right? Oh, would you like me to add you to my email list or just follow up with you to connect further? And they will tell you which one they want. They might just want to connect further until they know or like or trust you a little bit better, and then perhaps get on the email list. So don't just assume and add people to an email list. Uh, okay, so the first way is emailing. I mean, that's the most logical, easy way to follow up. However, these days, emails are getting caught in spam or trash or promotional folders or just caught in spam filters, and you don't even get them in your inbox more so than ever. So assume that most people, when you send them an email, assume that email is going to go into spam or promo folders and they won't ever see it unless they go searching for it. Now, are they going to think like, oh, Katrina's sending me a follow-up. I know she had. I met her like 2 days ago. She must have sent me something by now. Let me go look for that. No one's ever going to do that, right? So guess what? You have to do on top of sending the email, you need to make a phone call and or a private message on social media. So emailing, phone calls, private message on social media, and direct mail are the four ways to follow up. So you got to get strategic though on what you're saying and doing in those different ways. So if I send an email, say today's Monday, I send an email today, I might do a voicemail today as well and say, hey, I just sent you an email earlier. Want to go look for it? It could be stuck in your spam or promotional folder. Go pull me out, right? I'd love to follow up with you. Let's have a phone call. There's a link in there to my calendar. You can schedule and let's talk. Right. So that's an easy voicemail or phone call if you get them live, but most people you get on voicemail these days. Now, you can also say that same thing on private message. Now, if you're not already connected to somebody on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram, then you can go and send a connection request. But what happens to those connection requests in most of those platforms? They get stuck there until we decide to go look and see if there's anybody that's requested. Yes, we get a notification, but if you get hundreds of notifications like I do every day, you don't see all the friend requests or the connection requests. So they just sit there until you actually go looking for them and then respond, which could be weeks. And so when you send a connection request, you need to send a private message with that because there's a chance they could see one or the other before the other. And you say the same thing. Hey, go look for my email. I sent it on this day. I might not say yesterday because they might not see that message for 2 weeks. So I might say, hey, I sent it on March 3rd. Go look and see if you can find it in your inbox. It would have been from Katrina at jumpstartyourbiznow.com. Give them the email to go search for the email. I mean, I'm serious. This is what you have to do to get people's attention most of the time. Some people will see your follow-ups and some people won't. Okay, so then the last ditch effort is to send something in the mail. I have a bunch of cards here. Um, thinking of you, whatever it is, whatever kind of cards, you can have postcards. I've had postcards. I'll say, I met you at the conference, go look for my email, right? I'll write a little note. You can design a card that actually has all the messaging in it and have it printed so you don't have to write it all. You can send that you can give like a stack of your cards to an assistant and ideally in the US, if you're in the US, because you want it mailed from the US. And you can give them a bunch of stamps and tell them what to write or how to sign your name or whatnot. And somebody else can do the direct mail, but get that in the mail as soon as possible. So we've talked a little bit about Zoom calls, right? So if you're in a Zoom call, you don't typically get their full mailing address when they're sitting on Zoom, right? However, a lot of people have their addresses on their website. You should have your address on your website, by the way. If you're selling anything on your website, it's required by law to have a mailing address. So just saying, everybody should technically have an address on their website. They don't because they're not following the law and they don't know what they don't know, unfortunately. But you can usually find that there. You can find it on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a little bit more of a professional website. And so people tend to put their business address there, or their Facebook business page sometimes has an address. I go searching. So when I meet people in person, A lot of times I have vendor booths, right? And so I'll have them fill out little slips, drawing slips to enter to win or to sign up for my emails and etc. And so I will take that contact information, enter it into a spreadsheet, or I'll have somebody else do it, and then I'll have a spreadsheet of all their contact information, right? And then it's easier for me to do all the follow-up that way. If everybody's in one spreadsheet, I will then add them to the email list because those people who have signed up for a drawing or whatnot have agreed to get on the email list. And so those people can be imported into my email marketing software. And it is easier to, I have it right here. I have like a little call sheet, right? I have a little call sheet that I can go down and make notes on, left message for this person, this phone number was bad, whatnot. And so you can do that kind of follow up. It's so important though, you guys. You cannot avoid this. This is more important than getting more posts out on social and um, doing graphics or any like memes that you're going to create on Canva. This is so much more important if you want to see more clients. So I'm just sharing some of these things. So in emailing, your goal is to get out of spam or promo. So you have to alert them to go look there. So therefore, you trigger the phone call, you do the private message, you even send something in the mail to get them to see your email. You can put the details then in the email that you want them to click or listen to or give them a free thing or whatnot. Then in the emails, you got to have catchy subject lines, right? Don't just put the same thing in every email subject line. You want to get creative. You don't want to get too creative to where we're like suspicious, right? But in the follow up, I'm usually very clear, and the word follow up or following up from blank event is in the subject line. I don't try to get, I clearly will state that there because I know if I saw following up from blank event, I would know someone I actually met there because why would somebody else put that message in a subject line? So don't try to get too creative when you are following up. Just be blatantly obvious. Um, in emails these days, again, you're going to want to send more often. And you might want to, I have a series usually for following up for three times via email, but they're also going to see my regular weekly emails as well on top of that. Sometimes I'll send the three follow-up emails before I'll let that list of people get triggered to the weekly. It just kind of depends. And segment marketing your emails could also be very important. So if you met, like I have, the book publishing and the business coaching. So if a bunch of people marked that they wanted information about book publishing, I might, and I'm actually going to be doing this moving forward, but I might put all those people into a book publishing interest list and then business coaching or business tips interest list so that I send them the right things that they want to see. Because if I keep sending business stuff to somebody who just wants to publish a book and doesn't have a business, they're going to get annoyed and start unsubscribing. And then a year from now, when they finally write the book and want some publishing help, I'm not going to be there because they've unsubscribed, right? Same thing goes for vice versa. If I keep talking book publishing, they're going to go, why am I on this chick's list? I don't want to write a book, right? So just be careful what you're sending and how you're segmenting your lists and be very strategic and thoughtful with what you're sending to whom. Um, the other thing about LinkedIn, some people will teach a strategy about LinkedIn where there is a way where you can pull all your contacts information off of LinkedIn and download it into a spreadsheet, including their email address. And there's a way to do that. And then a lot of people will add those emails to their email list. I'm like, oh my God, that is like the worst spam ever. Please don't do that. Don't pay someone to show you how to pull the emails off of LinkedIn and then email them in from your system. Oh my God, no, that is like spam, spam, spam. And so many people do it. And when they do it, they don't even identify, hey, we're connected on LinkedIn. I thought I would email you just so we can have a better conversation over here. But no, they don't even do that. They just like send you something salesy, and then you're going, "Who the heck is this?" Because you can't relate to. Anyways, it's a no-no. Please don't do that. What is important to know, so phone calls. Many of you who are on my email list receive occasional voicemail blasts from me. Now, I have thousands of people on my email list, right? And I have thousands of phone numbers. And I would love to call every single person individually. I would love to maybe pay an assistant to call you personally, which isn't as personal, I don't think. Frankly, I think it's more personal for you to hear a voicemail from me, even if it goes to thousands of people and it goes straight into your voicemail and you can hear my voice because I'm talking to you rather than being called by an assistant to get on my calendar, right? I personally think that's a more logical way to go. Some people don't like those voicemail blasts, which is fine. You can take them off the list. But it is a great way to reach a lot of people quickly. And I think it's important to do that and when to know to pick up the phone and actually call somebody yourself. First of all, if anybody calls you and leaves you a voicemail, you should call them back. Please don't avoid that. And I can't believe how many people these days don't return phone calls. I think it's so rude, first of all. Okay. So I call people back. And at the very least, if they leave me their email, I will email them and say, I got your voicemail. Here's the information or whatnot. So please know when to pick up the phone. And don't assume that every phone number you see on someone's card or whatnot is a cell phone. My phone number on my business card is a landline. You cannot text me, but people text me. Did you get my text? I'm like, no, I didn't get your text. You don't have my cell phone. Why would I give my cell phone to the whole entire world? Like that's chaos. That'd be chaos in my cell phone. So clients have it, friends, other people in like Polka Dot, and occasionally I give it to some prospects or some other people inquiring or in follow up. But for the most part, it's a landline. So please don't assume that you can text everybody and you want to ask. Let's see. I'm just looking through my notes. With social media follow-up, sometimes some people may not be on the same platforms as you. They might be there, but they may not be checking their messages and their requests often. So it could go weeks. Like for me with LinkedIn, a couple of years ago, I was only looking at LinkedIn every 30, 60 days. My assistant was posting there, but I wasn't really looking there. These days, I look there about every 3 days. So I'm going to see a message every 3 days. But sometimes when I message people on there, I don't hear back from them for weeks or months. So just know that you've got to do different things in their follow-up. So I hope these tips were helpful today. I've got lots more where that comes from. I'd love to help you if you are looking to get more clients, grow your business. I mean, there's lead generation, there's marketing strategies, there's follow-up marketing, and there's sales. And all of it has to flow together, and you have to do more than you think you do these days to get in front of enough people who are interested and willing to buy from you. So it can be exhausting, it can be overwhelming, but it can be done. And a lot of it can be delegated. So I love to show people how to set up systems and structures and team so that you can reach a lot more people in a lot of different ways and get a lot more clients coming through and making more money doing what you love. So that's me. Reach out if you'd like to chat. Go to askkat.biz and you can schedule a call there. It's askkat.biz. And I would love to have a call and see where you're at with your business and what your goals are, get to know you a little bit better and see if or how that I can help you. And I'm a no pressure kind of gal, so I don't push you or make you buy anything. It's just if it's a good fit. So have a good day and we'll talk to you soon.